In this simple demonstration, Tivoli Access Manager for eBusiness in action. The components that make the Tivoli Access Manager are basically two. Web Seal, which is the enforcer that sits in the demilitarized zone, hardened and ready to take any type of attack to the HTTP application, to the web-based application, and the policy server, where you actually define what are the things that you want to allow different users, and you do that by putting what is called ACL, which determine what are the access rights. So we have an ACL called default web seal set up in here for a junction, and junction is just a link, a virtual communication path between that web seal box and the application at the end. So the website, the URL of the website is HTTP TAMeb, so think of acme.com, and then when you put in the path OFN, you're actually going to go through that junction to this web-based application. And it has this permissive type of ACL, but you're going to be challenged only one. We're going to also show not only access enforcement, but also web single sign-on in a minute. So we're going to see how Barbara Cash is allowed to go to that OFN application, and basically all these users are Judy Hill and Janice Rivers, sorry. And then what we're going to be doing is, without actually closing the browser, we're going to go to a .NET application, which actually is going to allow Barbara Cash to go, but as a branch teller, so she will see a couple of options, and a supervisor will give them additional option. Judy Hill would only have the options allowed by the branch teller, and we'll see as that Johan Rivers can go to the other OFN web server, but cannot go to this banking demo at all. It's going to be blocked from here without the application actually knowing that Janice River even tried to go there. That's the beauty of the enforcement of that. So let's see all this in action. So we're going to open a browser, and we are going to go to that OFN application, team5/OFN, as we see here, and this can be HTTP or HTTPS. And if we log in as Judy Hill, Judy can go to the OFN application, but if without closing the browser, Judy chooses to go to the banking demo, notice that is the same URL /banking demo. She sees only, as a branch teller, you can only see this. This is the .NET who received the credentials from TAMeb to the .NET integration, and actually is enforcing and saying, well, these are the things that Judy can actually do. Now, if we do the same thing and close the browser, but we're going to log in as Barbara Cash, who we remember is a branch teller as well as a branch supervisor. So we open a new browser, go to the same place, but this time it's going to be Bcash. So Barbara is at the OFN application as well. And when Barbara, without closing the browser, web single sign on to the banking demo, notice that as a supervisor she has these two options that Judy Hill could not see. We close the browser again and we go as Janice Rivers. Who is allowed to go to the OFN application, J. Rivers. But when Janice tries to go to the same place as the others, which is the .NET banking demo, she's forbidden. TAMeb, through the web seal enforcer, is saying, no, we have an ACL that basically says you cannot go there by virtue of this ACL, that is account supervisor, we just call it that, and which allows only these two groups to actually being able to go there. As a point of mentioning that TAMeb can work with multiple directories. In this particular demo, we have them working with Active Directory to facilitate the .NET integration, but you can also use any type of LDAP as the place for storing the credentials of the users.